I am Mark, or Abdullah, as I am now called. I have witnessed many things in my life, but one event in particular has deeply affected me and set me on a completely different path. Before I tell you about what is happening in Palestine, I would like to introduce myself. I am a middle-class American living in a quiet neighborhood in the US. I am an honest businessman and a good husband. However, I have always been sensitive to what is happening in the world, and as I saw the atrocities in the newspapers and on the screen, I began to question myself. One evening on television, I saw images of Israel's disproportionate force against Palestine. As Netanyahu spoke, I could see the hatred on his face for the innocent people there. It affected me deeply. I questioned what a state with the world behind it wanted from a handful of people. Really, this cruelty of such a powerful state against a weak people was boggling my mind. An army armed with tanks and missiles on one side, and innocent people with only stones in their hands resisting on the other. As a leader, Netanyahu's policies of repression, which he presented as determination, were in my eyes nothing less than cruelty. These images deeply wounded my sense of justice and conscience. I began to ask myself, why is one side so powerful and the other so oppressed? While I was researching the history of Palestine, I also came across texts about Islam, a religion that everyone looks at with prejudices, but which actually puts the teachings of justice and compassion at its center. But what impressed me the most was the Palestinian people's devotion to God. I could see that their houses were being destroyed, they were losing their children, but they were still taking refuge in Allah by saying, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. This faith, this resilience shook me deeply. In Europe, when people lose someone close to them for some reason, even their dogs, they get depressed and their lives are turned upside down. But how could they lose their fathers, mothers, and children and still take refuge in the Creator? I could not understand what kind of submission this was. It was not possible to see this submission and not be impressed. On the news, I saw a Palestinian mother praying with tears in her eyes. Lord, give us patience, she was saying. Despite all their pain, they were praying with surrender. For them, these scenes were as ordinary as children playing in front of a tank, but for me, it was a demonstration of staggering determination and faith. My wife Lisa did not understand my research at first, but as I explained Islam to her and talked to her about the justice and mercy of Allah, she began to accompany me on this journey. We began to read the Quran together and were fascinated by its simple and profound messages. This faith in Allah's justice made everything beautiful. At the end of this whole process, I made a big decision in my life. After meeting Islam and seeing the truth, I wanted to be part of this religion. I am no longer just Mark. My name is Abdullah. My wife Lisa has taken the name Sumayyeh. These names are not just symbols, they are the new meaning of our lives. Today, we strive to be a voice for the Palestinian people. We organize aid campaigns and tell their story to the world. What I have learned from them is that patience and seeking refuge in Allah can give a person great strength. My life has gained meaning through the beauty of Islam, and it is my greatest happiness to continue on this path.